Hello, ladies. Today I am so excited to introduce you to our big international ambassador, Natalia Edelmann. We are so blessed to have you in this organization. I am so grateful to the women at Coastal Women who introduced us to you. You were our speaker at one point, and we knew that the second you presented, we knew we wanted to be more connected with you and what you're doing on this planet. So welcome, and thank you for everything you're doing, not just to empower the women of B.I.G, but to empower all the people that you're touching globally.
Thank you so much, Tara. It's so great to be here.
Well, we want to know more about your business. You've been so amazing and gracious and giving to the women of B.I.G and what you've done and sharing your talents and helping them and empowering them. But we want to know more about you and your business goals in this conversation. So tell us a little bit about, before we get into what your business is now, who were you before you were doing what you were doing in your personal life and in your professional life?
Well, I'd say professionally first, because that really was how I defined how I did things personally for a long time. I was in wealth management for about 11 years. And before that, I was in hospitality. And in wealth management, I took on quite a few different roles. I was a coach, I was a trainer, supervisor, manager, I did all kinds of different, in client services, operations, sales and marketing. And during that time, I also took my MBA and my CPA. And, I really was very career focused, very career driven. I was living I grew up in Canada, born in Portugal, but grew up in Canada. So I was fortunate to do a lot of traveling, which I love. That's on the personal side of things. But yeah, professionally, it was, climbing that corporate ladder. And I did actually get involved with my company's women's mentorship program. And I've always loved working with people, empowering them to get to that next stage or that next job or that next thing that they're working towards.
So
Yeah.
now you live in Spain.
Yes.
And what brought you to Spain, and what are you doing now? And how's your personal and professional life?
Oh, well, I have to say that I hit a point in my career where I thought, is this really what I'm meant to do with my life? Like, is this really it? And I actually had decided to take a sabbatical because I was noticing my own physical and mental health was suffering at the time. And I thought, you know what, I need a wellness reset. And I was actually, during that time, I took a wellness coaching certification. And one of the first things I decided to do was to go on a journey. And I took a road trip in Spain. It's something that I've always wanted to do. And I went from Barcelona all the way down to Tarifa. And I just had the most amazing experience. I met the most amazing people. And I really, funnily enough, felt at home here. And I think that love started in university when I minored in Spanish. But just to sort of keep on track with the question, it led me to really fall in love and pursue a career in coaching and in wellness coaching and also business coaching, because I have that background. And I am really obsessed with the idea of empowering people to rise above their potential limitations, whatever they may be, to create more joy, to, create more success for themselves in not just their business, but in all areas of their life. And, personally, it's been great being here and being in Spain. Met my partner here. I've got more family on this side of the world. And I just have never felt so fulfilled and so joyful, just so full of life here.
You actually exude that positive energy. You really do. I mean, I've talked to you many, many, many times. I've never seen you not smiling like this. I mean, I want to pull some of that from across the ocean. Now, you talked about, so you're incredibly well educated and obviously an overachiever and an A personality who is seeking knowledge, right? An MBA, a CPA, a certification in wellness. You talk a lot about wealth and wellness. How do those two things work together in your mind?
You can't really have one without the other, because I truly believe that the path to wealth starts with you. And, from my wellness coaching background, it really taught me to take a holistic approach to life, because business is one slice of the pie, if you will. We have our relationships, both family, romantically, friendships, even in our work relationships. You have, spirituality to a certain level. How connected do you feel? You have, your health, huge impact to the way you feel. And, it's really all about, if you feel and you wake up with joy and energy and just love, that will transcend into all areas of your life, especially your business. And I feel so grateful and so blessed to be able to help people find both in their entrepreneurial careers, because as you and I both know, it's not always an easy road. It's
Yeah,
kind of
I
like
can,
this.
you need community, you need
You
the
need community.
inspiration every day, you need accountability, right?
Yeah.
You need partnerships, you need to keep your mind open and stimulated to new ideas. I mean, whoever knew we'd be in this situation, right? And you might have, and we were going pretty well before COVID, and then we got a major like yield sign, and we had to make a direction, and that ended up bringing us more opportunities, even when it was scary, right?
Yeah.
So, and wealth is a reality, right? Like you cannot do very much in the world without having some currency.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's the currency piece, but it's also the abundance piece, that, not living in this scarcity mindset, really believing in yourself, but also investing in the right things. And it starts at the very basic level, which is, meeting your basic needs. But then you go to, other levels of, well, this is, I want to feel abundant in everything I do and everything I have. And that includes my bank account. And, that's okay.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, it's what you do with it too, right? Once you
Yeah.
have it. I mean, there's this old saying, and it really resonated with me. It says, you never see a U-Haul behind a hearse, right?
Yeah.
Right? Like you can accumulate all this financial wealth, and when you're gone, what do you have to show for it, right? If it's just a bunch of dollars in a bank account. But if you use those dollars to use your purpose or to fulfill a legacy or to carry on your personal aligned mission, what a wonderful gift, right?
Absolutely. And I truly believe that we do ourselves a disservice when we live in this fear of rejection, or feel of being fearing of being judged, when we have so much to give, so much knowledge to share, and so much to teach. I mean, and this applies to any business, really. Like, everyone creates a business to help someone first, to solve a problem, to solve a need. And yeah, the wealth will come after, but when it's done with intention and integrity, and from that place, you will reach wealth beyond,
Your
and it's,
wildest dream, right?
yeah,
Well, and you are so,
unlimited.
I mean, I follow you on social media. I get to see you all the time. And, you really do, I'm sure it's a little bit purposeful, but you do share your life with the people that watch you. I know you made this beautiful spinach pie the other night, and I was actually really want that recipe but you're sharing that also to to look under the curtain, right? And to get beyond this facade of Facebook or perfect life, and to show, show what a day in the life of Natalia is like in real life, right? I mean, it's pretty awesome for you to expose yourself to those women and people that are following you. So what is a goal that you have? I know you have a lot of them, but now you're in a new place. We're still in the pandemic. Doesn't seem like it's getting much better. Definitely not over by your neck of the woods. And it seems like it's coming over back to us. So with all of that and all of like these obstacles heading toward us or in our way, you still are optimistic about achieving all your goals. So what's a goal that you have in this new normal?
Well, one of my goals is to, empower and help as many women as I can, as many people as I can, to take a risk and to either launch or grow their business. And I know that sounds like a really huge goal. So if I could put some numbers into it, if I could help like 1,000 women next year to reach their own goals, that would be amazing.
That would be amazing.
To reach their own business goals and income goals, like that is what I would love to do.
It's so amazing because, Zoom has given me an opportunity to actually meet so many women in more depth than I had been when we were running around to different in-person meetings and being in the car and running here and there, and really hearing these women's stories. And you cannot tell a woman's story from looking at her, right? You can't tell what she's going through. You don't know what's going on. There's so many women in big, I've known for years, never knew they had a special needs child. Never knew that, they're going through a divorce. And it was the most painful moment of their life because they kept showing up. They kept showing up with a smile on their face, right? Or people who have moved. And with Zoom, we didn't even know they moved, right? They're back on the Zoom and we're like, I'm in a different state now. I sold my house and I bought another house and I'm in a new community, but Big went with them, right? So how can the women of Big help you help 1,000 women? What's something tangible or specific? I know you just launched one of your courses and some of our women participated, or they at least got more information too along the way. We want to keep you in front of them so that when the timing is right for them, that they are willing to take that courageous muscle and move it forward, right? Because it does take a little courage to get out of your comfort zone, invest in yourself. But what's something else that women of Big could do specifically to help you and your business goals?
It's about collaboration for me. Me empowering 1,000 women, that is just like so much more achievable when you have a team of experts and people that, because I teach very A to C, how to create a business online, how to grow and scale your business online. And while I speak to every single thing, I like to invite guest experts to really be able to take that at a totally different level, because when people finish the program, they have the basics, they have the fundamentals, what they need, but sometimes they need a little more sales coaching, or sometimes they need a little more content curation. And, my dream next year is to really expand the team of experts that I have within my program so that we can reach more women and we can do so in a way that not just grows my business, but also their businesses as well.
Sure.
And I think
it's that incremental effect, and so on,
exciting.
And so on, right? And I know
that ripple effect.
We are so blessed because there are so many brilliant women in Big. I know you're meeting a lot of them already. I know you're already collaborating with some of them, but there are some of them that you may not know that I've just gotten to know. I mean, the brilliance of this organization, it is insane. The brain trust that we have been so fortunate to accumulate just almost randomly, almost the universe bringing it to us, right? And I know you believe in that too, because
Yep.
we don't handpick who can come in here, right? Anyone can come in here, but we do attract the same kind of woman who aligns with what you said. Being able to be vulnerable, being authentic, making authentic connections, being in a relationship business, not a transactional business, right? Being who you are so that you can live your true purpose and make money, right? Not make money and hide behind a wall and pretend you're somebody else. Corporate America does that really well. Corporate America, you can zombie your way through a paycheck in corporate America, right?
Been
And what
there, done
a
that.
lifestyle. Yes. You know, I just talked to a woman yesterday. I mean, she had lots of zeros after her paycheck, lots of them, but she was empty, empty, right?
Mhm.
You know, money does not buy happiness. It buys things, but it doesn't buy happiness. And yeah, we need the basics, and we do want that. I mean, look at Oprah. My gosh, open up orphanages if you have so much money. Do
Yes.
purpose stuff, right? And I also want to just emphasize another thing, because I don't want to take away from this international flair that you have. I mean, we meet a lot of coaches in B.I.G over the years, and there's many women who are sharing their gifts the same way, like coaching, which is wonderful. Everybody has their own special way of doing it and their own DNA. And I think most women every woman has a special way. But I want to talk about your international view of the world. I mean, you briefly mentioned born in Portugal, you know, lived in Canada, traveled the world, lives in Spain. But you have a global perspective that I think some of the people here on the States may not see it, that the world as that big of an opportunity. It might be seeming too big. But the more we go global with you, and I'm so excited to have you bringing B.I.G globally, because you are such the perfect ambassador for us. But we're learning, right? It doesn't matter whether you live in California or you live in Spain or you live there, it's the same women, right? I mean, tell me about your global relationships and how you introduced us to a woman in Africa, right? There's no limit to who you can empower.
Yeah, I I think it's one of my unique sort of USPs, if you will. But you know, so I was born in Portugal. My dad is from Switzerland. My mom's from Egypt. My sister was born in England, and my brother was born in Canada. And we ended up staying in Canada. But I was fortunate enough to, spend a lot of time growing up in places like Cairo and Alexandria in Egypt. I was fortunate enough to travel a lot just from a pure family perspective. And I always love the airport because it reminds me just how we're all the same. Like, and you kind of spoke to it, but it really is such a small world. And just looking past, where you're from and, where you come from, everyone has those same basic human needs and those same basic ambitions. Not basic ambitions, that's kind of the wrong way to say it, but people want things and people want to make a difference, and it doesn't matter where you come from or where you grew up. It's about who you are as a person.
Yeah.
And I think if we can get back to just human beings, that alone is like, we're so united on so many things, and yet there's so much going on in the world that tries to separate us, but we really are so connected. And I think that's the power of community.
Yeah, I agree
That's,
100%.
I think that's
Brene
the
Brown
difference.
says we only have one
Yeah.
purpose, is to connect. It's the
Yes.
only reason we're on the planet, is to connect, which is why this universal pandemic makes us have to look at the world, right? We're not looking at our state, we're not looking at our country, we're looking at the world. We're looking at what's happening right now in France and Germany, and we're saying, wow, we can relate to lockdowns. We can relate for the first time to what those people feel when they can't visit their parents, and they're worried about the elderly, or they're worried about. We can relate globally to what the human connection of what people are experiencing for the first time probably ever, because we're all going through the exact same thing at the exact same time. I mean, I don't know what else, whenever else that ever happened, right?
Yeah. And I think we're all, it brings us so much closer together on this mission to make the world a better place, one person, one environment at a time.
Yeah, I
And
think,
education is so powerful.
yeah, and it's the ability to feel worthy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, to feel worth it. I read a study. It was interesting when I was doing some research for a presentation. You can be isolated, which a lot of people are, and not be lonely. So isolation isn't necessarily lonely, although loneliness is one of the bigger causes of death than car accidents right now, right?
Yeah.
We see the suicide rates. We see elderly people who are just giving up, right? Because they haven't talked to somebody in a week or a month. But they said the antidote to loneliness is purpose. So you could be, they said, if you ran a horse race, isolation and purpose, neck to neck, purpose would win over isolation. So you can be isolated if you have a purpose and still keep moving forward in your life. And so, that's a great hope, because just because we're in this pandemic, just because, it's interesting. I feel like I know you so well, and yet we've never ever been in a physical place together, right?
Yeah, it's so true. But I agree with that. Purpose is everything. It is such a powerful thing, and it doesn't have to be this big grand thing that you find, and you can have more than one purpose. But being able to just be together and be, wanting to just help each other and help each other be better and do better so we can have more
Yeah.
at all different levels, because when we are better, when we do better, we can help so many more people.
True. And we
Yeah.
can make the world a better place, right?
Yeah, I mean, as cheesy as it sounds, like,
That's
yes.
so cheesy, but it's so important, right? Like, it's so
Yeah.
important. It's like, so how do people find you if they want a little bit more of what you have to offer? Which I can't imagine people wouldn't want more of what you have to offer.
Well, it is no secret that I am on every platform, but you can always reach out to me at nataliaedelmann.com or on Facebook. You can look up my name, Natalia Edelmann, and LinkedIn, all of that jazz. But
And B.I.G, we'll have you in B.I.G. She's our
yeah.
international ambassador for B.I.G. You're on all of our Facebook groups, and you can reach out to me personally, and I'd be happy to connect you. And you can spend more time with Natalia like we get to spend. And there'll be more opportunities that we're going to be offering the women of B.I.G to work more closely and directly with Natalia as the months proceed, and we can get into our being. We can become more authentically us and be proud of what we can share with the world. So thank you, Natalia. I can't wait to keep seeing what's next in our journey together. I know we have a lot of plans, and I'm so grateful to you for everything you've done for the women of B.I.G so far.
Thank you so much, Tara. It's just been an amazing experience. You guys have made my year, honestly. It's been so fun being with you guys. I can't wait to see what's next for all of us too.
We're going to have a great 2021, I think.